Hello, YouTube. My name is Sammy, and welcome to Sammy's Workshops. My good friend Calvin Witt, I'll put a link to his Etsy store and his YouTube channel down in the description. He had the idea to make some laser-cut wood storefronts for smaller buildings in quarter-inch scale that are easy to build and won't break the bank. Now, while both Calvin and I model in ON30, which is O-scale trains running on HO-scale track, that makes it a 30-inch narrow gauge train, the techniques I'm going to show you here can be used for any scale of models. Calvin's original buildings came as fronts only. This pair here are the first two fronts I got from him. They look really good, but they were a little plain to me. And so I decided to glue them together to make a small building block and to add some details. I knew I had lots of strip wood, so I set out to add some detail to them. I used some 1/4 inch by 1/16 inch flat stock glued to the top edges of the building fronts, then some 3/16 by 1/16 square snugged into the corner just below it, which added a shadow line. Once they got painted, these really began to look super with just small rudimentary trim pieces. So I set these two on the desk side by side, and because I had kind of had an idea to put them together, and a bigger vision came to me. I remembered some kits that I had seen in HO gauge years ago called Merchant's Row, where the company took 3 or 4 or 5 buildings and put them together in a block. Well, so I decided to do a mini version of that. I did a little bit of measuring and sketching and created some cardstock sides and back walls, then a divider wall between the two separate buildings, because they're going to be two different merchants, which I decided to glue together to make this building block. Then I envisioned a stone foundation base, so the wood porch deck that the kit comes with would be elevated a little bit off the dirt ground underneath it. So the foundation base is 1/4 inch by 3/8 wood set on the tall edge up, and then wrapped with some textured cardstock stone base on the outside. This is a product made by Vollmer, and it's been around for years. I originally got it through Walthers. I think Micromark carries it today. You could use some foam for the base and carve it if you like. I liked using the cardstock because it was quick and easy for me, and I had the stuff in stock already from a different project. I made a plain cardstock floor out of a piece of cereal box for the top. The sides were cut to size and shape. Then I began to glue coffee stir sticks on horizontally, which simulates a lap siding. I cut the door and window openings, which were previously drawn on the back side, and after all the siding was on, I cut those door and window openings out. I also cut them out I didn't put any cutouts on the sides, just on the back walls. The common center wall was made of 2 plain flat pieces of cardstock glued back to back with a single strip of 1/4 inch by 1/16 inch top rail to give it some nice detail and stiffened up the wall to keep it straight. Some wall bracing helped prevent warping, and I was ready to start assembling. I also added some 1/8 inch by 1/32 inch to the tops of the sides and down the corners. After the assembly was complete, I painted one building an off-white with olive green trim, and the other one a barn red with a buff-colored trim. Doors and windows were painted to match, and then we were ready to paint the floor and the interiors. Once I got those painted and while waiting to dry, I made some roofs. Square cardstock with some bracing, and we were ready to add some tar paper strip roofing. This was made with black construction paper cut into 3/4 inch wide strips. Later on, I'll add lighting and interior details when I get them ready to actually install on the layout. For now, I'm going to consider these done. It's amazing what a few little details will do. Calvin now makes sides for his buildings, and in the next video, with the next pair of fronts, I will use some of his sides and backs. Since those buildings are going to be seen from the back side, I'll do a little more detail on the backs of them. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe and share it with your friends. In the description, you'll find a Patreon page and a PayPal way to support the channel. I'm bringing a website with some merchandise soon, so you could get a Sammy's Workshops t-shirt or coffee mug in the not too distant future. I don't get paid by anyone, so the information you get here is my own, and they're just my opinions on what I use. Thanks for coming, and till next time, see ya!